Just when you thought Disney would let this Snoke thing be considered a failure and move on, we get this news. Over on IGN.com, this bombshell was released. Star Wars, Snoke was kept mysterious to allow for possible prequel. Can you believe this? Snoke actor Andy Serkis has addressed some of the backlash over his character's blank backstory in Star Wars The Last Jedi, saying it was kept intentionally mysterious to allow for possible future films or stories. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly about his performance, Serkis explained, "We wanted him to have a great deal of mystery. J.J. Abrams and I discussed it, and Rian Johnson and I did discuss backstories to him, where he came from. I was asked not to shed anything, should we want to bring him back in any way, whether in a prequel or whatever. It ain't happen." The lack of explanation for where Snoke came from and how he ascends to power has been one of Star Wars fandom's biggest questions since The Force Awakens was released, and has been a cornerstone of some of the backlash The Last Jedi received. It's a point Serkis acknowledges, but he clearly sees the mystery as necessary for any future plans. I think there's something cool about it. It still does remain a mystery for people. I know that some people find it incredibly frustrating, but I think it allows for future explanation and layering at a further point. The problem for many will be that the plans haven't been made. Serkis explains that he's definitely interested in reprising the role, but makes it clear, "I'm not in discussions with anybody about it at all." It may be that had J.J. Abrams been in charge, we would have seen a different approach. Daisy Ridley says the director had a different script for episodes 8 and 9 before The Force Awakens had even wrapped. Maybe some of Snoke's plans lie there. One word comes to mind right now. Bullshit. A prequel. A prequel! That is the best excuse you could come up with? You mean after months of Rian Johnson telling us the story is intentionally meant to be bad, we get to talk about a prequel? The story changes every day with Disney. Rian Johnson is literally the worst thing to ever happen to Star Wars since Kathleen Kennedy, and she's the worst. The message has been clear. We wanted to subvert Star Wars fans' expectations by ending all logical plot threads, but now there's a threat of financial loss because of our bloated opinions. We better fix this shit really quick. This comes out at a pretty convenient time. I think this was released to keep people from discussing the whole Solo poster theft.
Oh man! The thing I hate most about The Last Jedi can be resolved. I better start loving this film now before it comes out on Blu-ray.
I've called this deflection, I've called it distraction, but this time I'm calling it a flat-out lie. There's no way they're gonna make a Snoke prequel. It's all PR and hype. We've seen Star Wars slow down a lot, and I guarantee that if Solo underperforms, there will be a discussion, maybe just even a whisper, of Kathleen Kennedy needing to deploy her golden parachute. This rush to promise us a never-ending supply of Star Wars makes the series less enjoyable and has kind of backfired on them. If they want to keep people living with the sheep mentality, they need to give the people what they want and make them codependent. But their ego has hurt their wallets, and now they're scrambling. You see, I always talk about us having the power. Well, now it goes to show you we truly do. So for everyone out there that wants to say, oh, contacting Disney is a futile effort, no, it's really not. Complaints equal less money, and less money makes them wake up and pay attention. Pay attention to how they act right now, and act. Strike while they're down and weak. Constantly complain. Tell them you think that their PR stunts are garbage. Trust me, this will work. All you gotta do is do it. The article claims there could be more from Snoke and J.J. Abrams' Episode 8 draft, but we'll never get that. And like I always say, if it doesn't happen in the film, well, it didn't happen. It's too late for Snoke. He was built up in the minds of fans only to be a poor man's emperor. But guys, we'll tell you how he came to power. No thanks. But guys, we'll tell you why he's so awesome. Too late. But guys, we'll put in Luke Skywalker. You already ruined him. Pass. But guys, the Force is female, remember?
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Interlude aside, there is no way to make me care any less about this than I already do. Lucasfilm had their chance, but Rian Johnson's cucky pitch that was all about diversity, inclusion, and progressivism was paramount to continue a story that I hated, but many bought into. So you burned them, and now you're on your knees begging for them to come back. The carrot is rotten, Kathleen. Dangle that shit elsewhere, girl. So what do you think about this news? Personally, I think it's hilarious. Lucasfilm keeps telling us about their grand plan, but it's about as believable as those two kids in a trench coat trying to pass themselves off as an adult. I've said this before, I'll say it one more time. It is so sad to see the great legacy of Star Wars backpedal every week, trying to come up with more explanations for a bad story. I think at this point, I would almost be more impressed if they just apologized and said, you know what, we kind of dropped the ball, fans didn't like what we did, and we're going to do our best in Episode 9 to rectify those problems and keep Star Wars moving forward strongly. A kind of PR response like that, admitting guilt and fault and showing some humility and some humanity, takes away a lot of the venom and hatred because At the end of the day, we're all people. We all make mistakes. We all understand what it's like to be humbled. And if a big corporation like Disney or Lucasfilm humbles themselves to the people, it's like a term of endearment. So I think it's too late, but tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. As always, I love to read those. I love to interact with you fine people. And it seems like we're doing more and more of that every day with all you wonderful people. So let's keep that up. Let's make me happy. Let's make you happy. Let's continue the conversation. Let's talk about this Snoke prequel. Do you give a shit? It works with Han Solo, even though I don't care about the movie, but it works with Han Solo because he's a character with depth and people are invested. Snoke was a joke. Sorry for the shitty pun. He was played off as this big, sorry again, apparition in The Force Awakens. Then he's just a tall guy in a bathrobe. He's like a shitty burned Hugh Hefner. It's like a Freddy Krueger fucked Hugh Hefner. That's Snoke. And then he gets cut in half. I'm not really interested to try to see how he seduced Kylo anymore. You had that chance, be it flashback or dialogue or just something. It's too late. This whole, hey, it's all part of our grand plan is bullshit. So tell us if you think it's bullshit, and tell Disney if you think it's bullshit. Andy Serkis, you're a fantastic actor. I loved you as Ulysses S. Claw in the Black Panther film. I've been a fan of other stuff you've been in. You have really helped the world of motion capture become more believable on film. With all due respect to Andy Serkis, you're full of shit. I don't know if you're being paid to say this, if you want a future job. I don't really believe actors really say much under their own power anymore. Everything seems like it's a PR move, it's a power play, it's a way to remain safe from criticism or from Disney, firing you or blacklisting you from the industry. Well, I don't work in the industry yet, so I can tell you to your face, you're full of shit. What's not full of shit, though, is our good friend Pharaoh Kane. He has contacted World Class Bullshitters about a sponsorship, and we wanted to tell you guys about his excellent Kickstarter. The link will be in the description below, but it is an ultimate mishmash of comics and fantasy and action and fun and busty women. So if you're a grown male from the ages of 15 to the day you die, because you always like busty women, check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's related to Star Wars, too. There's a lot of cool Star Wars fantasy art and stuff in there. So description will be in there. It's a great thing. Always support independent art, because as much as we like to complain about modern comics and shit like this and modern movies, there's always somebody hungrier and better out there making great content. And the only way you can truly change entertainment is two things. To make your voices heard by telling these big companies the displeasure you have with the garbage decisions they make, and supporting the little guys. So thank you to all the people that have supported World Class Bullshitters. You're helping our voice grow exponentially, which is fantastic, and I always want to thank you guys. But support other independent art too. So we're all coming together to try to make that change. And you can only find that kind of shit here on World Class Bullshitters. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with a very big surprise. But before that big surprise comes out, make sure you check out this week's past two videos. I gave all the information on how to contact Disney, and if you haven't already, just go and do it. It takes a couple of minutes, and there are some positive responses. Don't listen to the nihilistic people down in the comments section. We care about nothing. Well, you know what? I care about something, and thousands of you care about something too. So instead of just bitching about it, let's go out and make a change. So thank you for watching, and I'll be back with more later in the week.